Did you know that the basic details of your urine, color, smell, how often you go, can give you a hint about what's going on inside of your body? Jody says yes.
So maybe Jody should be sitting here since Jody didn't know.
OBGYN Dr. Kevin Henry is going to use his general knowledge of medicine to help us out with this one. Good morning.
Morning.
Welcome to Smile Jamaica. It's morning time.
The different colors would be what? Yellow, clear, any other color?
So usually your urine should be clear, right? Or close to clear.
Yeah.
The normal color of your urine is usually like a pale yellow. So anything closer to that color or clear means that your urine is, for want of a better word, healthy.
Yeah.
That indicates that you're well hydrated, that you're taking in enough water. If your urine deviates from that color as any other color, then that can be a cause for concern. So sometimes the urine can be, for example, red, which could suggest that there's blood in the urine. But sometimes the urine, in terms of the colors, can be different as well, depending on if you're on any medications, if you're taking any vitamins, any supplements.
I was going to say that, because even if you drink something, what happens if you drink something that is rich in color?
Well, right. So if you drink things that are in excess sometimes, so if you have something that is very, very, very red and you took in a whole lot of it, then the natural, what will happen is that your kidneys will excrete that or pass that out and it will be very red, for example. But that filtration process should take place over, a one-day period, a 24-hour period. If it's that you're persistently seeing an abnormal color in the urine, then that's definitely.
So if you drink a soft drink that is yellow, it might look a little yellow, but it shouldn't look yellow the day after.
It shouldn't look yellow the day after that.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the importance of the process of urination? What does it do for the body?
So what urination is, it really is the mechanism, one of the mechanisms by which the body gets rid of waste. So whatever it is that we take in, any form of liquid waste, the body uses the urination to get that out. So you take in food, you eat, you drink, that goes through your system, it then goes down to the kidneys then filters it out. And urine is basically made up of water, salts, some toxins that the body releases, and urea, right? So that is essentially how the process of urination works. So it goes from your kidneys, gets excreted, goes through a tube from the kidneys to the bladder, and then you pass it out. So it's really the body's way of getting rid of.
So if you don't do it frequently enough, it means you're retaining toxicity in the body?
Well, it could suggest that there may be an issue, because in general, you should really be passing urine about 6 to 8 times per day. That's normal, right? If it is that you're passing urine much more than that or much less than that, that could suggest a problem. Now, sometimes people don't pass urine as often as 6 to 8 times a day for various reasons. A lot of times you're at work, you don't have the time to get up and go to the bathroom all the time. So that doesn't necessarily mean that something is wrong. You might pass urine 3 times a day, 4 times a day. But if you're passing urine, 10, 12 times a day, waking up, 4, 5, 6 times a night to pass urine, it could suggest that something is the issue and you should check it out.
Something like what could be the issue?
So if you're passing urine frequently, that could suggest several things. One, it could suggest that there may be an infection, or we call it urinary tract infection, where there is bacteria that is in the urine that is causing you to pass a lot of urine. It could be that you are having an overactive bladder. And an overactive bladder is where the muscles in the bladder are a little bit extra active, and so that's causing you to pass urine more often, right? It could also be something like kidney stones or bladder stones, which, again, if you're not well hydrated, if you have developed, if you have a lot of excess phosphate and calcium, then those things can cause stones to be formed, and that can cause you to pass excessive
From
urine.
you say 6 to 8, I think in my head.
How much times you pass urine?
Yeah, and I'm not certain I got that off. I don't know.
Right.
But I know, like, even in here, when inside here, I find that when I'm in a cooler place,
You pass urine
I want to pee
more
a little
often.
bit more than regular. I can't say pee on television. Well, me just say it.
Oh, you just say it already.
So I find, does that have anything to do with anything, the temperature and stuff?
Yes, it does. So usually when it's cooler, you tend to pass more urine, and that's because of the body's mechanism to try and retain or pass extra urine. So when you're hot and you're more dehydrated, you tend to keep in more.
Yeah. Again, I'm not certain I do it that often, but every now and again, I remember I was driving to in the rural area the other day, and I did just want to pee. And it's like, if I never stop, I feel I would have wet up myself.
Are you dirty up Jamaica?
No, I had a bottle in my car.
Efficiency, you know?
But when that happens and you hold that now, because like it's another 20 miles and obviously can't just stop dynamic like that and go up on the side of the road. Does that hurt, or can that hurt?
It can. And the reason that it can is that the bladder is essentially a muscle, right? So imagine you have this vessel. So imagine the bladder is like a balloon.
Yeah.
And when you put water in there, that is the urine. So it stretches it, stretches it, stretches it, stretches it. Whenever you have the urge to pass urine, you should really go and empty the bladder, because what will happen is that the elasticity or the stretch of the bladder muscles over time, when you keep holding it, will stretch it and it won't come back to what it usually supposed to be. So it may not affect you right now, but over time, because the muscles have stretched so much, then later on you might have issues in terms of holding in the urine.
Okay.
You know?
So
it's not healthy to
I'm glad you said
hold
that.
10 minutes to your health, and I want to
can't hold it no more.
10 minutes to your health. Every doctor will come on here, and when they finish telling everything,
They have the disease.
Yeah.
But that's in a serious way. You can harm yourself if you hold it for too long.
Right, and especially in situations where, remember that urine is the body, you know, that as I said before, that is how we pass out a lot of the toxins and the unused material that the body doesn't need. So that essentially isn't something that you want to be holding in too long. You need to pass it out.
Another question from me is, I think I said it at the start about the smell.
Right.
I don't know about anybody else, but I don't think I smell anything from my urine.
Right. So generally speaking, your urine shouldn't really have a smell, right? In essence, it's an odorless fluid, so you really shouldn't smell anything from the urine. At the very most, it may have a slight smell of like ammonia. But
ammonia?
It may have a slight ammonia smell, but other than that, your urine generally shouldn't smell.
If it does smell?
If it does smell, then that again could suggest that there is an infection. It could suggest that there is, or like a kidney stone or a bladder stone that is there. So if your urine has a very strong smell, or if you have noticed that there is a change in the smell in your urine, that's something that you definitely should get checked out.
It says also in terms of a sensation, whether it's burning or stinging. Yeah.
Right. So generally, again, when you're passing urine, it should be a free-flowing process, right? You should feel comfortable, relaxed. You shouldn't feel any burning, any pain in the bottom of the tummy or in the pelvis. So if you're feeling that you have to go to the bathroom and you can't hold the urine, if you feel that you're having burning when you're passing urine or a stinging sensation, if you're passing urine way more often than normal, then these are things that could suggest that there is an infection or there is a problem there. And to mention, a lot of times, sometimes it can also be related to sexually transmitted infections. That is one of the ways that it shows up as well. So you might have a stinging sensation at the end of your urine or during your urination, which could also be due to some form of sexually transmitted infection that could be in the urethra, which is the urine tube.
So basically you're saying if it's not kind of clear, you should check it out.
You should check it out.
Okay.
For sure.
All right. All right.
No.
Just to mention some key points in terms of, you know, preventing urinary tract infections or to, you know, just to keep the system healthy. Definitely need to hydrate, right? Drink as much water as you can. Drink a lot of water. And I mean, we know we hear that these campaigns all the time about the benefits of water, but it's really important, especially for the health of the kidney. So you need to drink a lot of water, drink a lot of cranberry juice, because the antioxidants in the cranberry juice have been shown to help with urine infections.
Okay.
Pass urine often, right? If you pick up anything that's abnormal in terms of the smell, I see Dela looking at me, in terms of the passing urine often, but you need to go to the bathroom, right? Whenever you feel the urge. If you feel anything abnormal, then have it checked out.
Yeah, man.
That's what's important.
Yeah, but every time you say kidney stones, I go, so I didn't have it, and it's not a nice thing.
Yeah, unpleasant.
There's no look. You can have a little consultation with her when we go for the break.
As soon as we go to the break, we'll have a little talk outside.
There's no look like sister one now. I don't know I don't know what your thoughts.
I go to the bathroom often when I'm at home.
Yeah.
But when I'm not at home,
that,
no bathroom shame.
I don't know which button you touch, but
When I'm not at home,
by the way, them say that anything pass through your system is good for you. Something like a beer, because you're going to pass it back out. Nothing goes up?
When you say pass it through, you mean?
In other words, it don't stay in your body. You kind of does.
No, man, that's not true.
Nothing goes up?
Nothing goes up.
So beer not good for you? No, my name hurts you.
Yeah, exactly. You know?
Let's go to a break.
Let's go to a break.
Yeah, don't answer that. OBGYN, Dr. Kevin Henry, 10 minutes to your health. We'll do it again next Thursday.